Amongst the collection of aero engines here in the Stratosphere Chamber building at Brooklands Museum is what might first appear to be a cluster of metal cylinders. But it is in fact the first jet engine to be put into production by Rolls-Royce, thanks to an agreement made over a rather frugal wartime meal at a pub in Lancashire. It is the Rolls-Royce Welland, and it was originally designed by jet engine pioneer Frank Whittle. In the early part of the Second World War, Rolls-Royce had been unofficially providing manufacturing help to Whittle's secret power jets company, thanks to a professional relationship between Whittle and Rolls-Royce's head of supercharger development, Stanley Hooker. By 1942, the first Whittle flight engine, the W1, had flown in the experimental Gloucester E-28-39 aircraft. Its success led to the design of a production engine, the W2, for a twin-engine jet fighter, the Gloucester Meteor. As power jets had few production resources, the British government had appointed the Rover Car Company to take responsibility for building the W2. However, the relationship between Frank Whittle and Rover deteriorated fast, and by the middle of 1942, Stanley Hooker reported back to Ernest Hives, the head of Rolls-Royce's aero engine division, that it had effectively broken down. Now, Hives had been initially sceptical of the jet engine concept, but Hooker had convinced him of its potential, and a cunning plan was hatched. In December 1942, Hives and Hooker met Spencer Wilkes, the managing director of the Rover Car Company, at the Swan and Royal Inn at Clitheroe in Lancashire, close to the W2 development plant at Barnoldswick. Over their modest pub dinner, Hives and Wilkes agreed a swap. Rover would take over a Rolls-Royce factory in Nottingham that was making tank engines based on the Merlin. In exchange, the Barnoldswick jet engine factory would be transferred to Rolls-Royce, with Stanley Hooker appointed as its chief engineer. Under Hooker, things moved fast. The early Rover development version of the W2 had already been flight tested in the back of a Vickers Wellington modified at Brooklands, and in June of 1943 it was first flown in the Meteor. By October, it was developing a thrust of 1,600 pounds and had been renamed the Rolls-Royce RB-23 Welland, with the RB standing for Rolls Barnoldswick and Welland being the name of a lowland river in the east of England. Every subsequent Rolls-Royce jet engine has retained that RB prefix and has been named after a river. Stanley Hooker went on to develop the Welland concept into a range of centrifugal compressor turbojets, including the considerably more powerful RB-41 Neen. Licensed and indeed unlicensed versions of the Neen initiated the post-war jet engine industries in several countries around the world.